Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with entrepreneur with experience from fundraising to exit, Drake Scifers. He is a lifelong entrepreneur with experience that stretches across the advertising, digital media, real estate, private equity, and telecommunication industries. He recently sold his latest startup, Skyber, a fiber-backed wireless internet service provider. He's got a lot of great stories and insights. Enjoy this interview.
Cool. Well, Drake, thank you for taking a minute out. I really appreciate it. What I want to do before we get into your life, from fundraising to exit, is I want to know, the last couple of years with COVID has been pretty extreme on planet Earth. How did you survive that time period, and how did it subsequently change not only the way that you live your life, but the way that you conduct business?
Well, so I was fortunate enough to sell my company on an upswing. COVID actually had a very positive effect on us. And so we actually grew 80% in 2020 because everybody was moving to the internet, and everybody had to have their kids' life and work and everything on the internet. And so for us, attempting to be a high-quality provider, and I believe based on how much we grew, succeeding in that, it was a big, actually, it was probably one of the more fulfilling things, is being able to use that to help people. But as far as COVID and how it changed my life, I think it has made me think more about, let's say, the fragility of the systems that we live in, and not take the peace that we have, even though we're in kind of trying times, not take the peace that we do have for granted.
So let's get to the essence of who you are and what you do. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids, say third graders, at a career day. And one of the kids looks up at you and says, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
I build businesses that help people accomplish what they need in life.
So talk to me a little bit about what you wanted to do when you were in the third grade. How did you envision your life, or what did you want to do?
Sure. Yeah. When I was in the third grade, I wanted to be a basketball player. That is what I wanted to do. I was ready. I was excited. I would practice. I would, just spend hours practicing, trying to get better. Just kind of grinding away. Getting school was just something I had to do to get out of the way in order to go play more basketball. And so I realized, though, that I'm a 6'2" white guy that can't jump super high, and that wasn't going to be a long-term play for me.
So are you happy with how things have turned out?
I think so. I mean, everybody, I think, is in the process of becoming and growing, and becoming more of who they want to be. And I think that's kind of a moving target that changes. But overall, I'd say I've been very blessed in my life, and I've achieved a lot of things that if you talk to that third grade Drake, I don't know that he would have been pretty shocked at all the things that I've been able to do. So I'm only 35, and I've got a lot more. Hopefully a lot more runway left in my life, but so far I think that I've been blessed, and I've accomplished a lot.
So take me back to your childhood. Obviously who we are is a product of the seeds that are planted. What was your childhood like, and how did these things happen in you to make you who you are?
Sure. So I'm from Fresno, California. So farm town, about 400,000 people. Although I like to kind of jokingly call it a California ghetto, because it wasn't, a very super nice town or a very pretty town, but we were just barely hanging on to middle class, with just our chin above middle class. But I was homeschooled, and my dad worked really hard to provide for our family, working multiple jobs so that my mom could stay home and take care of the kids and school us and help us develop academically. And so it was just growing up there. It gave me an appreciation for hard work. It gave me an appreciation for providing, and honestly, it probably helped me. It definitely helped me, advance academically at a pretty quick rate, and it was good. It gave me a lot of ability to kind of look at life and be motivated to be self-motivated and to accomplish goals. And I was kind of a naturally goal-oriented child, and it kind of showed me some of the reward for that, because if I got all my schoolwork done, then I could either read books or go play or do other things. And so you give someone who's somewhat naturally goal-oriented an opportunity to accomplish that, and they'll do whatever they can to move forward with that.
So who was a role model or a hero for you in your life?
I think, honestly, my dad. My dad was definitely a hero and role model for me. Just the way that he managed the jobs that he had. I was blessed to have a quite stable family life, but just to see him model providing for his family and going through extraordinary lengths and work hours to do that was something that I definitely looked up to. I'm trying to think who else would it be. I think I really I would say my basketball idol would probably have been Kobe Bryant, just from the hard work and dedication that he had to just put in the effort, put in the work, and to do the simple things over and over and over again, just to ingrain them in developing a strong work ethic.
If you could meet anybody alive on the planet right now, who would it be? Who would you love to talk to?
Ooh, good question. Anybody alive right now? I think that it would be a lot of fun to talk to Ray Dalio. I've enjoyed several of his books. Actually, I take that back. I would like to meet Peter Zeihan. He's a geopolitical strategist and economist, and I've been following his work for a while, and he lays out a lot of very interesting ideas about the future of the world and what will be happening as the world kind of shifts into a little less globalism and a little bit more regional geopolitical divides. And I would love to just sit and talk to him about the future and about several of the different things that I have questions about regarding the economy and how the world might work over the next 10 to 20 years.
So you talked about reading. What was that book for you growing up that just really opened you up, that you loved, that you may even revisit today?
I think probably the book, and it was a book that was coupled with a personality test. I actually read it in college. That was pretty enlightening for me, but it was Please Understand Me Too. It was about Myers-Briggs, and it was fascinating to read more about my personality type, and I'd grown up not really feeling understood by a lot of people, but when I read that book and I read about my personality type, it was like somebody had been sitting and watching me over my shoulder, and that kind of started into a journey of self-discovery, self-understanding, self-reflection, and I really enjoyed that, and I've still continued to pursue that and understanding not only myself but others through that framework.
Let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into the younger version of yourself, say when you're 20 years old, and you could give that version a piece of advice based on the life you lived, the wisdom you've gained. What advice would you give your younger version?
Don't doubt yourself just because you are aware of the different shortcomings that you may or may not have. Your strengths are sufficient to get you through the things that you need to accomplish. don't stop improving, but have faith and confidence in the abilities that you've been blessed with.
So what's been the best client response fan letter that you've ever gotten?
The best, what did you say, I'm sorry?
Like a client response or a fan letter, something that somebody's complimented you on based on the services they've gotten from you?
I can't remember one specifically, but what I do remember is, when with my last company, it was an internet service provider. And so during COVID, we had tons of, every internet traffic tripled. People were having to, change the way that they work by working from home. There were people that were having their kids do school, and the number of people that we were able to help keep their internet working. We were in a small rural community where internet access is kind of taken for granted. But the number of people who expressed tremendous thanks for me and my team on being able to allow them to keep their internet on, keep it working, even in and through the crazy, unprecedented times of just keeping it on, but also some people we were installing, and they were in dire need of internet that worked to help support their family. And so just the outpouring of support that I got from being able to help them and fulfill that and enable them to provide for their families and enable their kids to continue in their schoolwork when the whole world was locked down. I think that was probably one of the most meaningful things that I've ever done at a large scale.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, an idea of who they think you are, your family, your friends, your clients, but ultimately you live your life. You have a perception of you. Who do you think you are?
I think I am a pioneer who pushes forward against the grain, someone who sees and examines the world for what it could be rather than what it currently is, and someone who is never satisfied with the status quo.
Perfect. That's a great answer. Hey, man, thank you for opening up. Before we get off here, I want to make sure everyone has the proper place to go if they want to learn more about you and anything related to your services and your life. Where can they go on the web?
Sure. You could go to LinkedIn's probably the best place to connect with me. If you search my name, Drake, and then Scifers is Scifers. I should pop up. There's not many people with that name. I don't know of any yet. So yeah, that's the best place to reach out.
Beautiful, Drake. Hey, thank you for taking time out today. Good luck with everything. Have a great holiday into 2023.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube or Spotify. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.